Hi Dennis. Well, I've just read your email, and we'll just go through a few things there. You were talking about the zoom in and out. What I'd suggest beforehand is having a look at some of your settings. Don't forget, I've only just had this radio a couple of weeks as well, so what I would suggest is go into, first of all, go into your options, have a look on there, and just check what you've got the FFT size set as. It is CPU hungry from what I've read in the manual, so I've gone for what it looks like on some of the screens from other users. So I've put 4096. I've actually been up to 16384, and there is a difference. So go through each one of these and see what it's like on the spectrum itself. Let me just get rid of that. Also, if you go to, if I've got this right, device options, and I've seen on one other, I can't remember his call sign or who he was, on one of his videos, that someone had gone on here, was looking here exactly the same, and they had 900 and something kilohertz. Mine only goes up to 312. So you could have that set incorrectly, i.e. 39, 78, 156 or 312. That's what mine goes up to. I'm using a 1080p 24-inch monitor for the screen that you can see at the moment. So go and set this, and I think that's where it's going to be. That's why I think it's going to be there, where you don't be able, or you're not able to zoom in. Let me just get rid of that. You're not able to zoom in as much. With mine, I've set my width and everything for when I first go onto whichever band. As you can see, I can come straight out, and I normally hope to set it up to there, and hopefully that should be set. So I've gone for 3.800 at the end, and then whatever goes on the screen here. I would say check not just the options, because if you have a look in the manual, then it will actually tell you exactly what this does. I can't fully remember because I've gone through the manual, had a look what it looks like that affects me, or the way that I use my radio, and I've set whatever according from the manual to whatever it looks like for me on the screen. So that's what I've done. So zooming in and out, as you've put from here like that. What I've done, instead of just using the right mouse key, I've gone on to let me just see. No, not features. It's alright. I've got to try and remember where they are. Shortcuts. So I've gone to shortcuts. I've set my keyboard up to where up and down, left and right and left. So if you go and sort this out, I've done it where it's got zoom in and out, plus and minus on the keyboard, numeric. I can't actually pronounce it. The keypad on the right hand side. So I've gone there and clicked on the plus and the minus, so then I can actually zoom in or zoom out. So you can actually use your keyboard as well. So anything you want to set up, like I have, band up, band down, page up, page down, left, right. You've got so many keys that you can set up here. I didn't know about this before. I bought the Shuttle Express, and that's okay, but the keyboard has loads more options that you can use, so that's why I use this as well. So as I say, that's what I think it is. Even though you've got let me just find somebody that I can pull out. So I'm on 80 meters. Let me just put the audio on, because I'm using on the keypad number 1 on the number part on the right hand side. So if I press number 1, so there's the audio. I can then zoom in. I've got to find this zoom position, so I move that to where I want it, not all the time, and then I can zoom in there. Let's go to these guys here. And then whatever filter I use still stays the same. So I've got my bandwidth there for receive, but that's me zooming in. So that's my, sorry, wrong way, my full zoom. It's alright, that's my screen and my mouse. My full zoom is there. That's my full setting on my zoom. So that's the maximum I can go in. I can pull this down here, and as you can see, or you can hear, I can just hear them in the background, so there's no real signal there. Let me just come out and find a biggish signal. Well, he's just going to finish his QSO. So I've got interference on 80 meters, so there you go. We'll go to him. So don't worry about the wobble on the screen. That's my mouse and the computer doing that. So I can zoom in there, and that's my maximum zoom in. To come out, that's the maximum I can come out, as you say, not 2 inch. So let me just try it and go down to 39. So yeah, that's the position for you. That's what you're getting. As you say, I've gone down to 39 kilohertz, and that's why you've got 2 or 3 inch wide. So if you change that, as you see, if you had the 900 and whatever it was, I can't remember, over 900, then it's even further in. So yeah, do the sample rate and that'll sort it out for you. So that's your zoom in and everything. Just trying to find anything else that you say on your email. Okay, about your sound card. With mine, I've actually set this up. So I've got the sound card. I'm just using my headset at the moment, so that's what I've got. It's just the way that I've actually got the program set up. So I've got my headset. If I want to use my headset, it goes into the computer and then computer straight to the radio. So I'm doing it that way. The mic I've got in on mic 2, I've not got anything on mic 1, but mic 2 I've got either a Heil PR781 or a Rode Procaster. That's the mics that I use in mic 2. But sound card, because one of my monitors has got speakers, I use that. So when I enable it, I've got the sound. Let me just put the sound fully on. I've got the sound coming out of the speakers as well, on my monitor, as well as my headphones. So that's how I do it. You were on about also Where are we? Let me just make sure that's correct. Yep, that is channel. Okay, let's get rid of that. With the processor and everything, I think it's Vasily that actually did the video. There is a video from Vasily, so if you have a look on YouTube, it's on there, and I could have actually put it on the forum as well. And his video is brilliant, because then you can go through his video and actually set your mic up correctly. Let's just get rid of that on this line. So I'm doing it up to 3.5k my bandwidth for my audio. So going through Vasily's video regarding audio, and I'd set the EQs up and everything, and then save your different mics or mic settings here. I've got PC mic set up, which is my headset, Procaster and PR781, so I've done one for each one of those. So you can just go through this with Vasily's video and set it up correctly as is done on there. Just do a few different ones. You can always get rid of them and actually put them all back on as you want them, and get your audio for your transmit however you want to actually see it or hear it as well. The only thing that he didn't really go through too much is the noise gate. I think the noise gates are brilliant, because then it actually cuts out the noise level within your shack, depending if you've got a noisy amp or you've got a noisy environment. So that's one thing he didn't go through, which is a bit of a shame, but everything else he did. But there is information on there how to do the noise gate anyway, just in case. You might need it, you might not. You might already know how to do everything. So go through that and see, it's just pressing a 1, and then see how everything works for you. There is so much that you can actually do with this software. As I say, because I've only had it a couple of weeks, I'm just playing around. But I do think that if you go to your little box there, device options, click on that, as much as you can get, you will have, instead of 2-inch as you put it, the screen will be as mine is. But you might have even more, I don't know, because I don't know what system you're using. I think it's down to everybody's system. So I think that's your screen size sorted out. Yeah, even if you it's set 2.9 kilohertz. No, that's what I'd say there is. You've got no problem once you've sorted that part out. With your cable for your amplifier, yeah, give it a try. The only thing I would suggest is make sure when you're doing it, click on the PA tab there, and that'll do your TX to your amplifier. What I found though with the amp is, let me just go to the device, external. That's as you've got to set it. You've already got that information. On the expert part, you'll have to try this yourself, because mine's, like I say, whatever happens to mine can be totally different to yours. So I can give you or show you what mine is, and then in the end you've got to check and see if it comes up with yours or corresponds with it. Might do a little bit, might not. For my power, I've either got, because I'm only using an Expert 1K, I'm always on half power, and what I thought is, okay, 25 watts maximum. Don't need to go over there, because normally I only use anything from 8. Depends on, once again, it depends always on the radio. With my ICOM 7600, I used to use 8 watts with the power going out, how I actually set the 7600 up. 8 watts would actually knock it up to 400, just over 400, without any problem at all. With the SUNSDR2-DX, I've gone up to 25, and I've actually set, like, before I go on to this other part, I'll just say here, okay, I get up to 20 meters and 25 is fine. To get the almost the same kind of power settings, I have to change 17 is 14 watts, 15 is 6 watts, 12 is 4 watts, 10 is 15, and then back up to 6. I've not used it on 6 yet, so back up to 6. I've just left it as 25. So I look at 15 and 12 and I think, what, 4 watts? But that's just how my settings are, so I can't tell you why. It's just how mine are on there, how I did my checks. So when you're actually doing it, go to your drive and check on that, because when I go onto my drive, I normally get roughly around about 10 watts, just over 10 watts going out, and that drives the amp at just over 400 watts, 4 to 450, something like that. And once again, the loss in your coax, getting to the top of your antenna, blah blah blah, all that kind of stuff. So I normally do 10-12 watts max. I'm not sure which amp you've got. I'm looking at the PDF that you sent me and the information that it says there. So it looks like you've got a 1.5k from what the information says or says on that PDF. Yeah, you'll just have to do your checks, and as it is low, mid and max, low 550 watts, mid kilowatts, and max 1.5 watts. Once again there, think about what you're actually going to do it on. If you normally do it on low, which is a 550 watts, then do it so your drive is set on it. From what I've gathered, I'm not sure it's correct, on each band I go and do the settings for each band I'm going to go on. So 80, I don't go on top band, 80, 40, don't use 30, 20, 17, 15, 12, 10. What I normally do, go and set everything up I need to on each band, and then once I've got it set up, so if you're going to do it on low power, 550 watts, just for instance, go and set everything up for each band, and then I'd go and do a update for my microphone I'm going to be using, which is a Procaster mic. So I'd set that up and do an update on that. I'm just trying to cover my back each time I go and set everything up, so I always go to the profile manager and actually do it for that band, per band. That's what I've seen. I don't think there's an overall setup for every single band. I think you have to go and do them each single band itself. That's what I've found. If anybody else knows different, then please put a message down on the bottom, because everything's a learning curve with SDR radios, especially if you've not had one of these for a long period of time. I think it's if you like Eric and some of the other guys, they've had them quite a while, and they've been into it and got most of the information, because I don't think you'll ever know every single thing about it unless you're the manufacturer themselves. So I think that's most of the information that you need. Well, give it a bash, see what you think. I don't think you'll have any problems. Like I say, I just press this number 1 and there's my audio back up and working. Zoom in, press the plus key, I will get the zoom position where I want it, and then zoom in. So that is just with my mouse, because if I go back on the keyboard, turn him down a bit, going back on my keyboard, and I've got my left, right, up and down keys. If I go there, it actually follows me. So if I want to zoom in there even more, it's even easier. So you can change most things. Yeah, you can change most things on the keyboard, but then you'd have to write whatever on the keyboard, or I have a diagram somewhere telling you what all the keys on the keyboard are for, and they only work if you've actually clicked on the program, or the program that's visible, that's being used, and then it'll actually work. Let's zoom back out. So that's my maximum zoom out, and then the maximum zoom in. So yeah, I find that the keystrokes are brilliant for whatever you can do. You can move it all around. Turn that one on. So it's easy enough going wherever you want on here. Instead of using your mouse all the time, you can actually use your keyboard. So I think that's all the questions that you asked, or put in the email. If anything else, just send us another email. Just post below on this video, and like I say, if I can help anybody with whatever information that I've learned over the past couple of weeks, I can put on here. So I like playing with SDR radios, absolutely fantastic, and this SUNSDR is brilliant. It's so versatile. I've only just touched the edge of what you can actually get into. So yeah, give it a bash. Hopefully this has helped you, maybe somebody else. If it has, that's what it's all about. Alright, catch you later then, Dennis. Enjoy.